Hello YouTubers. Well, many of you have sent me emails and messages and made comments and said that you have enjoyed the outdoor scenes I've filmed over the past days, I guess weeks, and I'm glad you enjoyed those. I had a real good time going up in Paint Rock Valley and around and making those videos. I probably enjoyed it as much as you did watching those. I got out and got to enjoy some of the bright blue October weather here in northeastern Alabama, and also got to meet those new friends and get around and see some beautiful parts of the county in a beautiful time of the year. And I still have some more of those to go. I promised you I would have some more about the cave. I did the one on Soddy Cave, and I promised at that time that I'd do 2 other caves, and I'm working on those. We'll have those up before long. And threw in the little thing there about the unicorns. Had a lot of fun with that. I think everybody did. And that was those were taken on my trip up to Russell Cave. I stopped on the way back and took those, and I made another shot or 2 on that trip. That was done on Monday of this week. I had a day off on Monday and got out and did a little bit of that. The weather was kind of chilly, but it's still a pretty day out. Some of you have asked me about my dad, my father, and I've made several videos and mentioned him on different things, about different things in their life, in his life. And some have made comments they would like to see a video of him or with him. And last Sunday morning we got out together in my old truck, and the old truck is loud. I did the video inside the truck while we were riding around. I put the camera in the truck and kind of told him that I might be taking some pictures, but didn't let him know that the camera was going to be on him all the time. And we rode for about 45 minutes or an hour. I ran the camera till it ran the videotape completely down. And some of it is not real good because of the noise in the truck. So what I've done is picked out what I think is a good piece of footage without being too long. It's about, I think, 6 or 7 minutes worth as far as the footage. And before I show it, I want to tell you a little bit about my dad. I've mentioned him several times before. He just turned 91 years old in September last month. He's 91 years old, still in very good health, still completely mentally fit. He's lived by himself since my mother died for the last 25 years. Matter of fact, October was this month was the 25th anniversary of her death, and he's lived by himself, kept his own house, and has done his own things for those past 25 years. And he is still in real good health. I think the only time that I can remember, and I'm sure in his life he has ever been in the hospital, was for one night. He spent the night one night several years ago, maybe 8 or 10 years ago, after a light automobile accident. He fractured some ribs and things like that. So he spent one night in the hospital. He's never had an operation, other than just over the last few years he did have cataract surgery for his eyes, and he came out with 20/20 vision, both distance and reading up close. So the only surgery he's ever had is that cataract surgery, and it completely fixed his vision. He's really enjoyed having real good, clear, perfect vision since that happened. Of course, he's retired and been retired for many years, but he still works around the house, mows his own yard, and does some of his own maintenance. He fishes a whole lot. He loves to fish down on Roseberry Creek, and he fishes, catches crappie and brim and bass and catfish and you name it. He fishes a whole lot. He's a real big Atlanta Braves fan. He watches or listens to every game and can tell you all the players and all the plays. And so he's just a real big Atlanta fan. And you'll notice in the video he has a cap on. My brother, I'd mentioned before that we have Native American Cherokee, Native American blood. So he has on a Native Cherokee cap. You'll see that on his head. You probably can't tell what it is, but I thought I'd tell you. He has that on his head. And he's also a tobacco chewer. He loves to chew tobacco. He always has and probably always will. And of course nowadays they say tobacco chewing is not good for you, and you ought to quit it if you can. But when a fellow's 91 years old, it's kind of hard to tell him it's time for him to quit. So you'll see him in the video. He does a good job of chewing his tobacco. And usually everywhere he goes, he'll have he's got a little spit cup. You'll see his little spit cup, and he has to spit in the cup on the way down. But where I took him was out across the Tennessee River, across B.B. Comer Bridge, and there's a beautiful drive that goes down on the south side of the river that goes from this area where I live, Scottsboro, and it goes all the way down to Guntersville on that side of the river. And most of the road is along the banks of the river and the backwater, and it's called Langston Road, and that's the road we will be going down. And the reason I chose that road is years ago, and you'll hear him talk about it in the video, his family, when he was a young man, was married to my mother. His family lived on a farm there on that road, and they had to leave that farm. And I've told this before, when Tennessee Valley Authority, the TVA, came in and backed up the water. They built a dam, a river dam down at Guntersville, which backed up the lakes and flooded a lot of the farmland. And their farm was one of the ones that was flooded, so at that time they moved off the farm and moved to Hollywood. But anyway, he'll talk about that. You'll hear him talking about the farm, and you'll hear him mention muscadine. And I don't know if muscadine type grapes are widely spread. I know they're throughout the southeast. I don't know how widely they're spread across the country or across the world. But it's a big native grape-like fruit. I'll show some pictures of it. The vines grow high up in the trees, and it usually grows along areas close to the water and shady areas with taller trees. And you'll hear him mention several times, this area we drive through down there is a prime muscadine grape area. And he talks about he and my mother used to go down there, and I remember that, go down there and pick up muscadines at the right time of the year, which was a little earlier in this time of the year, a little earlier in the fall. But anyway, I'll be quiet here and start the video, and I think I've called this one Going Riding with Mr. Ben. Now, Mr. Ben is his name that everybody around town knows him by, and I might say a little bit more about his occupations he's had before we start the video. He's always been very hard-working, very independent. He started out as a farmer, a farm boy, farm worker. He went on and drove the rolling store that I made a video about back a few videos. You might want to go back and look at that one if you haven't looked at it. It's part of the Dixie raising series. I talked about him driving a rolling store. He worked as a construction worker, like a highway construction worker, driving heavy equipment. We owned a small country store for a while, and he and my mother ran that. He worked as a gasoline and oil and petroleum delivery driver, truck driver, one of the local, he called them oil companies. He also did all of their maintenance work, electrical work, plumbing work, installed gasoline tanks, and just hard work that he did for several years. And later on, after he was a little older, he went to work with the local police department, worked with them for many years, and retired with the police department. Along in those same years, he ran for, we have county commissioners, a governing body of our county here in Alabama. He ran for county commissioner, and I think he was elected 4 terms, four-year terms as our local county commissioner. And he finally retired from that. So he's had a very full life and a lot of different things he's done and enjoyed. But anyway, my voice is about to give out on me, so I'm going to stop and take you for a ride with Mr. Ben.
Boy, right in here where we used to come and get all the muscadine we own and pick up. Do you know it?
Yeah. I wonder if they're still in there like that.
I don't know. The barnyard, but I don't know how they put on that. Much rain as we got told, they ought to done pretty good. We love Lucy.
Yeah, they were thick, and there's some vines hanging down right there, isn't it?
Yeah, we used to pick them up. But on down yonder,
all kind of vines in there.
on down yonder where we used to go, and them hills run together, and there's pine thickets all around. And they must go down and hit the ground and roll down in that holler, and we go down there and just scoop up with both hands. Me and Seba come out there one time with about 10 or 12 gallons.
It's a pretty drive down through here. Big old boat going up the river over there.
Yeah, it's pretty down through here, and then in the spring it's real pretty too. But you won't. I've been trying to get them to make this a state road.
It'd be pretty if they could trim all those trees off on the side.
That's what I'm saying, count it a scenic drive. That's what
it would be.
That's what I've been trying to get them to do. But
yeah, you know how they are. We used to go swimming right down here, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
What do they call that place?
Where?
We went swimming down here.
That was just on the farm where we lived.
That was the same land?
Yeah.
Well,
I'll show you where. Their fence road was right there, and went right straight across the river. And when we get right over here, I'll show you where we used to go.
Right down there where we went swimming, wasn't it?
Yeah, right up in there. Just before we get to the curve down there.
And the house was back up on this side?
Yeah, but since they dumped all that stuff up there and built that mountain up, when it's built 35, they covered up where the house used to be. And right here used to be our hog lot, and our barn sitting right there, and the house. But see here, they hauled this in here and dumped that in there.
Yeah.
But now the house was right here, because this big ditch was just right to the other side of the house.
Huh. How many acres do you have in here?
On the farmland. Now right here, down here used to be our garden where these little houses are built right here.
Huh.
And that's the other line coming right across. About right across here, running. I ain't no back out down there. Now right there is where I have come in there and picked up a gallon of muscadine.
Yeah. Y'all grew most of corn, or what did you grow?
Corn, cotton. Had cotton on the highland here and the corn over the bottom. Never did have to fertilize the corn or nothing.
All that rich bottomland, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the river would come out every year, and now right here is where the Stones used to live. That was the next house to us from where. That's how close the neighbor was.
That was in the 20s, wasn't it?
Where?
When y'all lived down here?
In the 30s.
30s?
Yeah, we moved down here in 1928.
And then you and Mama got married what year?
We got married in 36.
36. That's why you still live down here, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we lived in a little house right back up there for a long time.
And it was a trail here that went near the top of the mountain?
Yeah. And right on down here is where the old section of road went up the mountain. You can still see where it's at. There's that house that looked like it burnt here. I was wondering where it was down Langston Road. Now there used to be a big cotton field right there. And the house sitting down on the hill. And one year it was bad and we bolted the cotton. Got so bad we couldn't pick it. Put it in that empty house, and then went down there and picked that cotton out of the bowls and throw the cotton burrs in the fireplace to keep us warm.
Use that for heat, don't you?
Yeah.
Did y'all do any logging down here at that time?
Oh, yeah, we logged off that mountain there. We had our mules trained. We could just get down the foot of the mountain and take hold of chain, go back up, and right down here is where old Billy Jack Kirby coming over at the heart of the lot.
Uh-huh.